to another episode of Pet Pals. I'm Bethany Davidson, the humane educator here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center, and giving you a toss-up today. Our volunteer coordinator, Sean Snyder's on vacation, so filling in for him as animal wrangler is one of our administrative specialists, Alicia Smith, also formerly a kennel tech, so perfectly capable of wrangling for us today. As we mentioned in some of our previous episodes, our cat floor is starting to fill up with the arrival of summer and just kitten season in general. So we have two cats on the show for you today. The first of which is Cherie, and she is a super sweet 1-year-old brown tabby and white, obviously has lots of opinions that she would like to express. And she did come to us with a bunch of other lactating mom cats in a whole horde of kittens. Don't really know which kittens belong to which mom, but they were all taking care of them. Doing a great job, but they have all since been separated from their kittens. Kittens are quickly finding homes, but these moms are still on the adoption floor waiting for that. We have gotten her spayed, as we do with all of our cats, dogs, and rabbits, spayed or neutered before they leave. And we have found, in our assessment of her, she is fairly confident. She's in one of our greeter cages, which is one of the first cages that visitors will see and first animals that people will interact with. So you can't put shy cats there. They have to be confident and able to handle all of that extra attention and just the constant movement and comings and goings. But she's definitely confident. She, asks for attention. She comes closer to you. And what a lot of people really want from a cat is a cat they can kind of pick up. And she is a cat that you can pick up easily, is very comfortable being held, whereas a lot of other cats really fight that and want to get down and explore or feel uncomfortable with their feet up off the ground. And, initially she was a little bit weirded out when she came in, but she is starting to settle in a little bit, curious, things like that. Seems like she might have the potential to be a lap cat if she weren't so interested in exploring this new space. But she, in her cage, she's going to let you pet her for as long as, you want to pet her. And she also was really great with her nail trims, which is something that not a lot of cats are able to do. They are, fighting that, and she just kind of let one person do it on their own. So very tolerant cat. They've also noted that she really does enjoy playing. So she is that good mix of, affectionate as well as playful, which a lot of people are looking for. And, that's why a lot of people want to get a kitten, is because they want that mix. She's only a year old. So, all of those people who want that good mix of playful, affectionate, as well as a cat that's going to be able to grow up with their children, these 1-year-old cats definitely still fit that bill. So if you're interested in making Cherie or any of the other cats that came in with that mix part of your family, if you're familiar with the Real Housewives of Atlanta, you'll be able to identify which ones they are. They all have those names. You can make an appointment at visitfcac.as.me to do that. Our next feline guest is one that's been with us a little bit longer. He's been with us since the beginning of May, and he's also one of our older residents. This is Milo, and he is 6 years old, and he is super handsome, black and white, domestic, long hair, and he's got those great white whiskers. He's just a really big guy. And initially when he came to us, he was kind of shy and kind of stayed in his bed, and you'd have to encourage him to kind of get some attention, get him to come closer to you. But since then, he's really started to come into his own, and I've noticed he comes right to the front of his cage. He's, he's that cat that does the thing that everybody wants, sticking his paws through the bars. If you're trying to interact with one of the cats around him, he's like, oh, hey, you're here to see me. And he's crawling around and poking at you and, playing with your keys if they're hanging on your pocket or your hair. So he, just because he's a little bit older, he definitely still is a playful guy. I've seen tons of volunteers interacting with him, really enjoying giving him affection. He has some areas where he can get a little overstimulated. They were telling me he doesn't like it if you scratch his back a lot. He gets a little overstimulated with that. But it was super easy for me to pick up, which is, again, another thing that people are seeming to look for, a quality they're looking for in their cat. And He may take a little bit of time to settle in, which is why we do always recommend that our adopters taking home cats keep them isolated for about 10 days in a smaller room. So a bedroom, a bathroom, an office, somewhere where you can kind of give them that space to decompress, but also get acclimated to having more space since they're used to having just their cages, which are quite small, and they get a little institutionalized after a while. And we don't want to scare them into hiding under your bed or your couch, things like that, when they are super nervous and just overwhelmed by the sheer amount of space that they have. One of the things that we do want to point out about Milo is that he does have a little bit of medical, so we would definitely encourage you to read his entire profile. He was treated for a UTI, and we are still doing some diagnostics and things like that on him to kind of get a good gauge of where he is. Does he need to be on special food? Are there other things that we need to do for him? Because he had a history of not using his litter box, which is not uncommon with UTIs and things like that. But also, just making sure that he's going to get into the right home where he gets the appropriate ongoing care. And, not everybody is ready to take that on. So definitely read those notes. And if you feel like you need to have a better understanding, you are welcome to take his records, because we can print them out for you, talk to your personal vet about it, or talk to any of the medical staff that we have here at the shelter, so that you can really understand what you're getting into medically with Milo. If that doesn't seem to be something that's going to deter you and you think he's going to be a great fit for your household, the first step is going to be going to visit fcac.as.me to book that appointment to visit. Our next guest is one of our newest additions to the adoption floor, and definitely somebody that the staff are claiming is incredibly handsome. He is a good-looking dog, and we're all excited to interact with him. This is Emerson, and he is our 1-year-old Roddy mix. As you can see, he is still quite the energetic guy, definitely leaning into that I'm only a year old status. He's full of energy, very playful, and wants to get at all the toys. He's just a lot of fun, and he's going to be a lot of fun for a potential family. But keeping this in mind, what you're seeing is Emerson. He's never been in this room before. He's never seen cameras or the people who are here from video services. So if he's going to be this energetic in an unfamiliar environment, you can only guess and imagine what he'd be like where he felt comfortable. So I would say that if you're looking for a couch potato dog, even if you think he's super handsome, this is not going to be the dog for you. But if you're into, playing a lot in the backyard, going on hikes, maybe some runs, things like that, being very active, then Emerson would probably be a great fit for you. Again, we don't have any restrictions on, what kind of age of children he can live with, but highly energetic, may knock over your toddler, so things to consider. He does need some work on manners, which most of our young kind of adolescent dogs between like 6 months to 2 years old really do need work on, but he is very treat motivated, as most of them are. He's friendly, excited. He does well with the other dogs. He play bows to them, but he does need to work on, polite leash walking and not jumping on people. He does really love his toys, and he is reluctant to kind of give those up. So teaching him a nice trade would be a super effective way to kind of get him comfortable with giving them up more quickly, but also teaching him that, he doesn't need to resource guard those things, because he's going to get something better in exchange for them, and also get those toys back. One of the other things that we've noticed about him as a young dog, which is pretty common, is that he can get a little mouthy. If you're doing a lot of petting, he can get a little overstimulated. If he's really aroused with play, get a little overstimulated, starts, chomping on things with those teethers, not to hurt anyone, but just because he's a little overstimulated. So, making sure that you're redirecting him to appropriate things, but also, watching for those signs of arousal and kind of stopping before you get to that level, so that, he can learn to self-regulate a little bit. But if you are fully prepared to, give this guy the training and the exercise that he really needs to be a good canine citizen, then you're going to need to go to visit fcac.as.me to book that appointment to meet him and start that process of making him part of your family. If you're looking for high energy, but maybe in a shorter fur variety, then look no further than Buddy here. Buddy is a 1-year-old tricolor terrier mix. He has the cute little pig nose that I like, where it's all pink and black in different colors. And also super high energy. He is, another dog who really needs help with his manners, but he does have some, basics. He knows sit and things like that. He's just super excited. Definitely probably needs, that outlet for that energy. And he was previously owned. And the reason that he came to us is because his family did have a house fire, and they're currently living in a hotel since they lost their home. And they had another dog, but because of the limited space that they have available to them, as you can see, Buddy's not really suited to a hotel life or apartment living, really, if you don't have, an outlet for him to get out and get all the exercise that he needs. He is super affectionate, but one of his biggest problems is learning not to jump on people. So his new family is going to have to be really diligent with teaching him to keep his feet on the ground and keep his mouth on his toys and things like that are really appropriate. But he does have a lot of potential because treats really do work very well for him. So if you have a treat-motivated dog and the right value level of treats, you can really get them to do anything as long as you're consistent with it. So he, again, definitely needs a house where he's going to have, lots of yard time. With dogs like this, and really any dog, just a walk around the block a couple times a day, even if you're like, I'm walking miles, is not acceptable in terms of the appropriate amount of exercise. These terrier mixes need lots and lots of exercise. So making sure he's going to get that, because as they say, a tired dog is a happy dog, and that is a saying for a reason. And if you're not able to give them tons of physical stimulation, then mental stimulation is also a good alternative. But as you can see, not a turnkey dog. He's a little bit of a project dog, lots of potential, but does need somebody who is maybe a little bit more dog savvy and willing to put in the necessary training with him to keep him on his best behavior. If you think that fits what you're looking for and you have the time to devote to Buddy here to make him your best buddy, then you can go to visit fcac.as.me to start that process. Our next guest has been on the show, but if you're a frequent viewer, you may remember she was on the show with another dog named Ruger. This is Dixie Ann. They were listed as better together, but we weren't able to find them a home together. So we adopted Ruger out separately, and Dixie Ann's actually been doing a little better without her friend Ruger, but she's still looking for that perfect forever home for her. She is a super sweet, quiet, gentle lab Weimaraner mix. We just have her listed as a lab mix, but she is definitely loved by our staff. I think our deputy director is constantly on the fence about whether or not he should take her home. Like, should I take a dog home? He really loves her and volunteers to take her out and things like that. I think Alicia's also professed how she's perfect. She spent several weeks up front as our office dog. She just kind of lays there super chill, not making a lot of noise, not getting into a lot of trouble. So if you work from home and you're looking for a companion, Dixie Ann would be great. She is, again, relatively quiet, but if she has to go to the bathroom, she gives you a little bark, so you know you need to take her out. She's also great at communicating with her body language when she's uncomfortable and things like that. So it's really easy to tell, should I let this person continue to approach her, or should I ask them not to? One of the things that we've noticed about her is that obviously she's a treat fiend, but she has seemed a little bit nervous around certain taller men or like large crowds. She can get a little bit overwhelmed and things like that. But she has met a variety of people. She rides pretty well in the car. And one of the things that people love about her when they're taking her out is that she walks so nicely on leash. She doesn't pull. She walks right next to you. She's not one of those dogs that's jumping up all over you. She takes treats really nicely. Some of the dogs get so excited and your whole hand kind of ends up in their mouth with the treat. And Dixie doesn't do that. She knows sit. And she's just kind of like an old soul. She's only 3 years old, but she kind of has that like Golden Girls vibe to her. And in addition to all of those great qualities, she's just super cute. And she kind of knows it. Again, she lived with Ruger for many years, so she is, dog friendly. If you have an existing dog and are looking to add to that, we do meet and greets with all of the dogs before the shelter dog would be able to go home to make sure it's going to be a good fit. So if you are, interested in that, that's something that our front office can set up for you. But Dixie Ann, again, is a staff favorite, a volunteer favorite too. When she was up in the front, every volunteer was like, can I take her out? Can I take her out? Can I take her out? So we're just hoping that, an adoptive family falls in love with her like we have here soon. If you think that you might be that potential family that Dixie Ann has been looking for, then you can go to visit fcac.as.me to book an appointment to meet with her. The final guest we have for you on the show today is one that's been on the show many times, but is definitely a favorite amongst staff and volunteers. This is, of course, Harley, and she is one of our longest residents at this point. Over 100 days, but even longer if you take into consideration that she's been adopted and returned. And Harley's a good dog that we can use to talk about the fact that we're committed to our animals for the length of their life. If they need to come back, they are always welcome to come back, and we will try to find them another loving home. Harley is a dog that is not the most challenging, but she has some things about her that make her more suited to certain homes than others. So first off, like most of the dogs, with the exception of Dixie Ann that you've seen on the show today, high energy. So she did have a stint as an apartment dog, and that really just didn't work for her. She's gonna do best with a yard that she can run around in, either in a long line or really preferably a fenced-in yard where she can just run around and get all those zoomies out. She's going to be a good hiking companion, things like that. She does have a good sit. We have been working with her on polite leash walking and things like that. Another important thing that we're looking for her in terms of a forever family is a home without any small animals, because she loves her toys and she thinks that they are toys as well. So we want to make sure that all the small animals, cats, skinny pigs, things like that, are staying safe. And Harley's going to be best as an only dog. She is very dog selective. She tends to like calmer, older male dogs. Not really a fan of ladies. She thinks she should be the only lady around. And she would be more suited to, having friends that she could parallel walk with, as opposed to dogs that she would really be playing with off leash or living with in a home. She's super playful. She loves to play, loves to train, loves treats. She is very agile. So, even though she's not a stereotypic like agility dog or things like that, she would probably be excellent at that. I don't know if you've seen her Christmas elf video, but she can jump into all kinds of chairs, the counter. She can walk with a walker. She can ride in a wagon. She's very talented and very funny. She enjoys dressing up. She looks good in, costumes. She has a sundress that she looks smashing in and enjoys wearing. She has a lot of really great qualities, but would probably be better suited again for an owner that has some, knowledge of dogs, and again, an outlet for all of that energy for her, and is able to handle her size. She's very strong. So, making sure that, you can walk her, she's not going to pull you over and things like that. If you think that Harley is the perfect dog for you and you want to be her forever family, you're going to want to go to visit fcac.as.me to start that process. As always, we hope that you've enjoyed meeting some of our adoptable pets or getting another look at some of our longtime residents. But if you didn't see anything that you think is going to be right for you, we have many more animals available. So go ahead and book that appointment anyway to check out all of the adoptable pets here at Animal Control.